How's it going, everybody? I'm here with North Alabama Hiking Today, and today I'm going to start a series of videos relating to day hiking safety, and I'm going to start with the most important video. And the most important thing about hiking safety is, other than the gear, it's preparation, and also understanding the things that can go wrong out on the trail. So this first video will be about the types of hiking emergencies you can have, and how to plan and prepare before even going out on the hike, so you do not have to use your gear. So I think the most important thing is your mindset, as far as knowing what can happen. And the number one day hiking emergency is getting lost. And day hikes tend to be more emergencies situations than people who do 2 or 3 day overnight hikes. And one of the reasons is this, is day hikers tend to be less prepared for emergencies, as opposed to those who are doing a 2 or 3 night outing. Typically bring their own shelter, plenty of food, plenty of water. Day hikers do not always have that, and I will address the things you'll need in future videos. But day hikers are unprepared a lot of times. They might bring a bottle of water. They're not always properly dressed for a hike, and usually their cell phones, and that's going to be about it for a lot of hikers. And so I'll cover in future videos how you should set up your day pack to help you in the event you do have a 24-hour emergency. But this video will talk about how you can hopefully prevent that from even happening. So like I said, making yourself familiar with what can go wrong can help you plan to prevent that. But I've always thought one of the best things you can do before going to any hike, especially if it's a secluded area, is do pre-hike planning. And if you do that properly, you eliminate the chance of having an emergency by a whole lot. And so what I'm talking about in pre-hike planning is, number one, is doing research. You want to research the area that you're hiking in, if you've never been there before. And the areas are also different. For example, if you go to a place around here, like say Joel State Park, where it's more difficult to get lost. As a matter of fact, I don't know if anybody's ever had that happen to them before. There's been injuries and things, but I don't think anybody's ever got lost at those trails. Those are pretty simple trails. It's a pretty populated area. It's good cell phone coverage. So what you bring there may not necessarily be what you would bring, say, if you're going to Bankhead National Forest. And I'm going to use Bankhead National Forest in my example. Bankhead National Forest is a huge area. It is in kind of a secluded area. It has a lot of great hikes, but people do get lost in there. And there have been several emergency situations where rescuers had to go in, or the people had to spend the night and hike out the next day, and they were not prepared. So a lot of that is maybe not proper pre-hike planning. Several of them may have took off walking on the trail they didn't know much about, thought maybe a little bit of water, and they got lost, it got dark, and they had to stay. And another issue that day hikers tend to have when they get rescued is dehydration. A lot of them run out of water. So I'll also cover in future videos about how much water to bring and water filtration and things. So, but Bankhead Forest is a large area, and the way you would plan for a day hike in Bankhead is going to be a lot different than, say, in a populated state park. So, for example, if you're going to Bankhead Forest, where you know there's little cell phone coverage and more chance of being secluded, away from everybody. There's greater potential for getting lost or getting injured and help not being able to get to you as quickly. So that's where pre-hike planning is going to really help out a lot. And so pre-hike planning, research the area. Talk to people who have been. Maybe go with somebody who's been, if you can, depending on what hike you're wanting to do. And get on the internet. There's different apps like All Trails, or you can go to my website, www.northalabamahiking.com, if it's a trail that's listed on there. Or you can go to various other places, but research it very good and study mounts. Get a good mount. And I always suggest getting a digital copy of the mount to have on your phone and a paper hard copy in case something happens to your phone. Because I'm going to tell you, don't solely rely on technology to help you out. Sometimes technology fails, your battery goes down on your phone gets damaged, you can't use it, or you have no cell phone coverage or something like that. We're having a paper copy, especially if you keep it in a waterproof container or get a waterproof mount. And I'm going to show you this one right here. I don't know how well you can see it, but this is a mount of the Bankhead National Forest. It's folded up in a plastic bag. It is waterproof, and it is tear resistant. And it has your grids. It has your scale in miles. It has GPS points listed for anybody using a handheld GPS unit. So it has a lot of great information. I think I got that mount for around $10. Alabama Outdoors carries those. The trading post down there in Lawrence County, before you get into the Bankhead Forest area on Highway 33, also sells those. So anywhere you're going, if you can get a mount that's as good as the one that I just showed you, and like I said, a lot of your outdoors retailers out here have those, get that and study it. Study the trail you're going to be on, know the intersections, know the landmarks, know the terrain, because understanding that will help you know where you're going. It may help you know where you're at if you get turned around. And I also suggest learning how to use one of these, compass. This one is it's not the main one I use. It's one of my cheap backups. I always keep a nice, better compass, and I always keep one of these cheap ones as a backup in case I lose that one. But knowing how to orient a mount with the compass, and orient yourself north with the mount so that you can get your bearings is important. And there's a lot of YouTube videos that can show you better than I can. One YouTube channel that's great with that kind of information is Dave Canterbury, who also has a really good book about wilderness survival that you can check out. The Corporal's Corner also has, he's got a great channel that teaches a lot of outdoor stuff and how to properly read a map and compass. So check those out. But I do know how to orient a mount. Get yourself oriented north where you can kind of find out where you're at, and and learn to get your how to find your bearing and know how to use it to get out of a situation, because GPS isn't always guaranteed to work. And I have had a handheld Garmin GPS quit working in the middle of nowhere. It didn't affect me, but it quit working. It just froze up and never worked again. So technology is not guaranteed. But if you will plan properly, do research, study your mounts, understand your trails, and also have digital copy and hard copy, physical copy of the mounts to really help yourself out. Another thing that you really need to do before you go out on a hike, whether you're by yourself or preferably with a partner. I do a lot of hikes by myself, but if you bring a partner that can help out in case you get injured, or just having a companion in case you do get lost. But always let somebody that's not going on your hike know where you're going, give them specifics, and let them know about what time you're going to be contacting them again. So that way, if you get turned around or lost, or you have to stay overnight and you can't call for help, they may be able to. Because like I said, in Bankhead Forest, cell phone reception is very minimal. But if you get lost and you tell them, hey, we're going to hike at, we're going to try to find Candy Creek Falls, and just not one you'll likely get lost at, but I'm just saying, for example, if you do, then whoever you told that to can call the authorities and say, hey, they told me they were going to Candy Creek Falls in Bankhead Forest. I haven't heard from them. They should be back by now. And that way they'll know, hey, we know what you're talking about, and they can begin the search if that's needed. So, again, pre-hike planning, understanding the situations that can happen so that you pack the proper gear and know what to do, and also letting people know when you're going, when you'll be back, so that they can contact help if you need it and you can't. If you remember these things, it'll definitely help prevent a day hike emergency. Thanks for watching this video. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, the next video will probably be about one of the main essentials you'll need, which is water, also shelter and food for emergency situations that you may want to take on a day hike with you. And so be on the lookout for that video. And thanks, and everyone have a great evening.